for this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to insert some meaningful ratio level statistics into an Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to format some cells as numerical. You cannot do calculations with the text field. I'm going to also show you how to output an Excel spreadsheet from an Access database. So take a feature table in Access and export it out as an Excel spreadsheet so you can put some calculations into those as well, or work some calculations in. And you'll notice I've already downloaded Lab07. This is from Lab07. It's the first part of Lab07. It's not due by the midterm date. Whatever I demonstrate in this lab exercise is simply to be used for extra credit if you wish to do it. It is not due, so nothing that we're going to do today is to be turned in before midterm. Just the operations that I'm going to go through will be helpful for you to earn some extra points on the midterm. Let's take a look at what's in the lab folder. We have the lab file, which describes how to create a join. That's what we're going to do, and how to make some calculations as well. We have a creating a join Word doc, basically the same thing. We have US sample database, US sample image. We're not going to use. Actually, I'm going to right click on that and just delete it out of there. Don't need it. And we have this Microsoft Access spreadsheet in 97-2003 format. I can tell that by the XLS file extension. Let's take a look at it. First thing I want you to notice is county name. That's how we're going to join. These are aspatial data right now. They're not joined in any way or have no geometry. So the only way you can pull these in a GIS is to pull them in as an attached spreadsheet. The way to get them to associate with a geometry is join them. We're going to join on a common attribute name, its county name, and what's case sensitive about that is what's in the cell, not the name of the attribute as we would think. It used to be that way in earlier versions of GeoMedia, but now you can join county name to puppy dog, whatever. But what the contents of the cell is case sensitive. You'll notice all of this is uppercase. So our counties in our database that we're going to join to in the GIS must be all uppercase. If we look across here, there's lots of information. This was downloaded from the Census Bureau, US Census Bureau. It's Tiger data. It's been modified. So all of these attribute names have been modified so that they're user-friendly in a GIS. We're going to make a meaningful calculation, and we're going to convert just numerical data into ratio data, which can be compared using a thematic map in a GIS. We have total household units by county. There's 67 counties here. We have the number vacant, the number owner occupied, and the number renter occupied. We're going to create 3 attributes that convert the number to a percentage of total household units, and then 1 attribute column just to total up the percentages to demonstrate that that's close to 100%. It should be within 1/100th of 100% either way or right on the money. First, we're going to left click over here to get some space and then arrow to the right so I can get some columns over here. I'm going to left click in the alphabetical column header, hold it down and roll across 4 cells because those are the 4 cells we're going to need. And we're going to right click in the blue space and we're going to format the cells as a number. And let's go 3 decimal places to 3 decimal places and click OK. Then we need to decide on names for these. I'm going to turn the cap lock on. And the first one, I'm going to go PCT underscore VAC for vacant. Next one, PCT underscore OWN for owned. And the final one, PCT underscore REN for rent. And the final one, PCCT total, TOT. Okay, We'll expand those by left clicking up in the alphabetical column header, roll across the whole 4, get my double arrow, and expand it. Now all we have to do is insert a formula. I'm going to first insert a formula that does not round off to either 1/100th, 1/1000th. So you'll see that, and the contents of the cell afterwards, even if we're only looking at 3 decimal positions or 2 decimal positions to the right, the number goes out to infinity. So we'll do the formula first that way, and then I'm going to show you how to use the round function. Once you have clicked in a cell, what we're going to do is calculate the percentage of vacant household units of total household units. So it's basically, the mathematics of this is it's dividing vacant by total household units, take that times 100 to get to a whole percentage. The operators. Operators for mathematical functions, a plus is plus, so it adds two cells together. A minus subtracts one cell from another. An asterisk multiplies one cell by another, and a forward slash divides one cell by another. So those are the operators we're going to use. I'm in this cell, AQ2. Make sure that you use everything in row 2 for your calculation. Don't click and divide AQ or AN2 by AK5. That's not going to work. Okay, once I'm highlighted in here, I'm going to left click up here in the function field, type in equals to start everything off, and we need to divide vacant, so left click in AN2, hit the forward slash, and left click in AK2. So we're going to divide AN2 by AK2. We need to put that in parentheses because every operation, the result of that operation, if you're going to do something else with it, has to be segregated by parentheses. We're going to take that times, so asterisk 100, and that's our formula. Check. Now, we've got 3.953. Let's go up here and increase the decimal points. You'll notice that we go out to infinity. We go out here to here before we get to zeros. Okay, how can we fix that? I'm going to left click right after the equal sign and type round. And I'm going to put 3 more or 2 more parentheses to increase to 3. Now here's the formula. Round, in parentheses, a number, comma, space, the number of digits. Okay, so we're going to round this function. I have to put a right parentheses here. And then to get to this parentheses right here, I put a comma, and let's go to 3 spaces, another right parentheses. You'll notice that the formula disappeared. Click the checkbox, and now look at all the zeros. So we can go back to 3 and feel safe that there's nothing beyond that point. We'll just leave 4 in there so we can see that last zero. Double left click. Okay. You remember from Lab 5 that if you want to copy a formula down, the first left click in the cell, you get the white field cross, roll over until it turns black at the black box, and carry it down all the way. We're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is left click, white cross, Control C, because I'm lazy, Control V, and I'm going to copy the formula to the right. Now, when you do that, Excel assumes that you're going to move one cell to the right for both elements of the calculation. Well, that's not true because household units stays the same. It's AK. You'll notice up here, it moved it to AL. We can fix this very quickly by left clicking on the L, change it to a K, and type check. Now it's fixed. Let's Control C that one, put it over here, Control V. We again have to change AL2 to AK2. check. So those are all correct now. Now, we could have gone in here in some situations and fixed a K2 to a numerical value, but that'll only work for across this particular row. So in this particular situation, that won't work. But if you're in a situation where you're making a calculation that the cell never changes, then go ahead and put the numerical value in there. Then you can copy to the right as far as you want to go, and you won't get that divided by zero error. Last thing we want to do is we want to check to verify if all elements in a percentage of a particular number are correct. It should add up to 100%. They're all part of that whole value. So in order to do that, I've clicked in this cell. I'm going to go across the top to tabs for formulas, and there's the sum sign. I'm going to left click on it. You'll notice that it ran the whole column or the whole row. We don't want that. So I left click back in AS and roll across to the 3 columns that should include and click check. And there's your percentage. Perfect 100%. Perfect 100%. Okay. Now we want to take all this down. All we have to do is left click, center, white fill cross, roll across all 3. Take the black cross and roll down and let go. And as you can see, everything looks great. So let's save this. It's already in 97-2003 format. We're done with that. Close it. The only other thing I want to show you right before we get into GeoMedia is I'm going to right click on US Sample Database and I'm going to open with Microsoft Access. You don't have to right click on open with unless you have another software that has latched on. I have FME that's latched on. I'm going to open it. And I'm going to double left click on the states table. So here's all the states data in US sample. I'm going to roll across the tab to external data, and you'll notice I have import and link, so you can import some data, or export, and I have an Excel. I'm going to left click on the Excel, and it's the file name where it's going to go. It states XLS. It's going to go in my documents. I want to put it in the lab file. So go down to C and go all the way down to Miller. So it's open right now. Just save. Don't do anything else here. It's going to go except change it to 97-2003. Okay, close. We can now close this, and there's the states Excel table. So these are the data that came forward in that. And you have some geometry fields which are meaningless. I'm going to right click across them, delete, and let's get this all spread out. So right click across there, double left click. There's all the data. These are formatted perfectly. Let's left click right here and then right click down in here and format these cells for numerical. So number, let's do 2. And I'm going to do percent of total population. That's Hispanic. So I'm going to type PCT underscore HIS. Okay. In this field again, now I'm going to use the round function. I'm going to type equals round 3 left parentheses, left click in HisPop, / total pop. I need 1 right parentheses times 100 for that operation, another right parentheses, comma, and let's go space 3, another parentheses. That should do it. Put a check in the box. Now, if we go out, There you go. It's 3 and 0. It's less than 1%. All we have to do now is just copy this down to get all of the, there's the percentages. You'll notice we have divided by 0. This is Washington, D.C., and there's no date on there. So I'm going to just delete that out of there. So there you go. I've added something meaningful into US sample that I could not do in Excel until I exported it out. We will do something called functional attributes toward the end of the semester where you can actually make these calculations while in GeoMedia. But for now, you can see how you can mine data out of an Access database by exporting it to Excel and then doing your calculations in Excel and saving it. So we're going to save this. It's in 97-2003 and close it. Now, I want you to open GeoMedia. So left click, open GeoMedia, and we're going to do a blank Geo workspace. Make sure you have 2 rows across the top, a row to the right, a row to the left. We're going to expand this a little bit, give me some room. Warehouse, new connection. First one's US sample. Browse. We're going to pick up the US sample from our lab folder. We're going to create another new warehouse, 97, place it in your lab folder again. We'll call that Alabama. And let's do one more, a third warehouse, new warehouse, 97. Now we're in Alabama. Let's call this one Tiger. No, let's call this Census. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to isolate or mine US sample for Alabama counties and a border. So that's 2 queries, attribute, first, US sample, counties, filter, where state name equals show values, yes, double left click on Alabama to put it down there. Okay, we don't want to see it anywhere. Next one, attribute query. We're going to go states, filter, state name equals show values, double left click for Alabama, okay. We don't want to show it again. Now we're going to output those as a feature class in Alabama. So we go to warehouse, output to feature classes, 2 queries. We want to check, it's going to go to census. No, we want it to go to Alabama. In the advanced tab, we're going to name it Alabama counties. And for the states, we'll just call it Alabama. And we're going to display, okay, yes, okay. There you go. Let's double left click and get these in format. So black, Alabama. Let's make that blue. That's not dark enough. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we need to get the data in here from a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, remember, is aspatial data, and the counties, these features and map objects, are spatial data. You'll notice this county has a limited number of fields, up to annual snow. Okay, now in order to get the spreadsheet in there, you have to attach it. So you go down to feature class definition. We're going to attach the spreadsheet to census attach. Here we have to select that it's XL97. We browse and go to our project folder or lab folder, whatever you want to call it. Left click on Tiger. That's the one we're going to put in there. Open. Now, These data were downloaded from the U.S. Census Bureau, and I modified the spreadsheet that came from the Tiger data. And there's some kind of a code in there somewhere that produces this database. We're going to left click to check out of that. And all we want is Tiger City. And let's call it Tiger Census. So you can rename the table, click OK, and there it is, Tiger Census. Close. So let's see what's in that particular database by looking at the data window, Tiger Census. Okay, there's all our data, including the percentages we calculated. Great, everything looks good. Okay, we have to get those aspatial data joined to aspatial, and that is a spatial map object. We do that by joining. So let's go to Analysis, and the third option down under Queries is Join. The join has a left side and a right side. On the left side, you put your map object with geometry. So we're going to go to Alabama, we're going to join counties. The right side of the join, we're going to join Tiger Census. You'll notice now that we have common attributes that we can select county name in the map object and county name in census data are the same. Left click to download. So they're down there now, county name equals county name. We use an inner join, which means that anything that appears on the left will pull in its correspondent on the right. No more, no less. We can leave it join of Alabama counties and Tiger Census. And let's just display it right now in the data window, click OK. And here's where you should have gone in advance and made sure that county name in the database that you're actually looking at, or the feature database, is all uppercase. I know it is, so click OK. Here's the join. There's the data that have a geometry. And you notice the grayed out area, we have a name again, and that is all the Excel data. It included the percent rented. We could actually run a thematic off of that join, but I think that it's better if you output the join as a feature class. Then you can use that access database in a variety of applications in GIS. So we're going to output that. So we go to Warehouse, output the feature classes, and we're going to select Join. Okay, Join. And we're going to put that in Census. And under the Advanced tab, I'm going to call it not Join of Alabama counties. I'm going to call them Alabama Tiger counties. So get rid of all this stuff to the right so that it indicates that there's something different than just that. And let's go ahead and display it. Output's complete. I'm going to take Tiger counties and delete that now, or not Tiger counties, but Alabama counties. And let's left click on a cell now, and you notice that all the way down at the end are our percentages. So we've successfully joined and created a feature class. Now we can reproject lists. Let's go to View, GeoWorkspace Coordinate System, Projection Space. Let's make this Universal Transverse Mercator because I want it straight up. Projection parameters, change it to 16 north and OK. Pops it up fairly straight. Let's put a north arrow and let's insert a scale bar. Fix that up. Okay, let's run a thematic. Legend, add thematic legend entry. We're going to do census, Alabama Tiger counties. We do a range thematic. Let's select one of the attributes we created, percentage owned. We want to classify that. Let's do equal count. And let's do 10 classes. So 54 to 75, click OK. Let's click this to get the proper boundary color. And we're going to ramp colors. Low would be a light color, so light purple. High gets the last value there. And let's get a dark purple. And right click and ramp the colors and apply. So there you go. There's our thematic for percentage, and these is owner occupied. So we want to left click here and we'll go percent owned households. Percent of owned households by county. Okay, so percent of owned households by county. We need names on the counties, so insert label. Label features in, let's go census, Alabama Tiger. And we should come up with a county name, put it down there, center is good, but the text color has to be something we can deal with. First of all, let's do Times New Roman. Let's do about an 8, bold, and I'm thinking that color might show up pretty well. I don't know. It's not too bad. So now we have county names in there. Let's go ahead and save this GeoWorkspace. We would save that in our lab folder. I suggest you save your work because after the midterm you can use this to move forward. So this is Juan Miller. Seven. Save. So that's how you take data that are aspatial in a table, generate more meaningful data, join it to something that has geometry, a map object, and then use it in an analysis. Clearly, we should do a layout window here. I'm not going to go through those procedures because you've done it before. I'm not going to go through the procedures on how to submit your lab. This does not have to be submitted. This is only for practice if you want extra credit on the midterm. After the midterm, this lab becomes just like any other lab and it's due. So let's close this now. There's our Geo workspace. Open it up just to make sure everything works. It's fine. Close that. The only other thing we need to do is step back to the C drive. And remember, you do not highlight all this and right click send to compressed. You go back to the C drive, right click, and we send that to compressed. It's going to name it right in the C drive. Right there it is, the same thing. That's what you would submit. You do not have to submit this lab. So that's everything you need to get some extra credit on the midterm exam. Good luck.